Hello everyone, this is for Topology Service Transactions Sync. It's 3rd of September. We don't have anything on the agenda, but I guess to make sure um, everyone is... Oh, Tarun, you're adding something. Maybe you can verbalize and then edit.
Yes, I wanted to ask if the POC that we were doing in terms of topology service transactional behavior, is it complete or are we still working on the POC? Would we say if the POC is complete or not?
I don't think we achieved all we wanted with the POC, but we have enough to know that the design is stable and solid. Um, the unknowns we have right now are stuff that we need to figure out while doing the implementation detail. So in my point of view, the POC is done and we're working on, we should start working on the production code.
Okay. Yeah, that was my understanding, given that we have already started working through the actual production implementation.
Yeah, I would like also to add that we kind of verified that POC is like going in the right direction. So we already start extracting the correct work and like putting it in production. It's gonna be like, you know, like multiple iteration, but like over the picture, I believe it's verified.
It might be, I guess, a repetitive question, but just for my own understanding, what are the things that we wanted to verify that we have verified through the POC?
Yeah, I guess one thing, what we wanted to verify is the RPC design, that works, uh, claim stable design works, and um, all that stuff works, and if it's feasibly from the Rails side to do things outside of a transaction and to like do the RPC calls and things like that. So it's more the RPC design than anything else, and like storing the data if it makes sense to store the data like it is inside of the database. So I think that's what we mostly wanted to validate.
On the POC for the client side, have we done some sort of manual like testing with the client POC and the topology POC to check out all the workflows like the happy path and all the failure points, or is that too much to test for the POC? And
I don't think anyone done that testing now.
I thought Kamil did that validation, the topology service, but I might be wrong.
Can someone say question again? Sorry.
yeah, have we? So I know that Genshin worked on the client POC. Have we checked if have we tested the client working with the topology service POC, and if all the failures that could occur and the happy path that could occur, uh, if all of that is working as intended, or is that too much to test just for POC?
I think Genshin validated a happy path on the claims to be working, but I don't think he validated anything beyond that.
Okay.
Okay, just for clarification, when you say validate the happy path, you mean with the local changes or the GitLab changes that he had, the POCMR validated against the topology service code that you have for the POC?
So you're saying topology service running locally, and we like base calling the topology service locally.
Mhm.
Yes, this I think this is like what we are potentially looking at. So one of the purpose of the POC and like why I also keep rebasing the POC is like you could kind of get like an unfinished but end goal behavior that you can like write ways against it even before those changes are productionized into actual topology service, even if some semantics may change a little bit here and there, but it should give you like a pretty good framework to test everything that you have to build in arrays before things land in a topology service.
Just to rephrase and to clear my own understanding, you are talking about the topology service MR that you have for the transactional behavior, and you're saying that we should be able to validate everything from the Rails side along with that copy of topology service that we need for claiming.
Yes.
Okay.
Like the thing is, like, we don't have to merge POC to build against the interface. It's more like a process that we're gonna be like figuring out like the best way to iterate on merging those things into topology service in a steps. That makes sense. But this as a proof of concept should give you like a pretty complete behavior against which you could write all the REST changes basically and validate all of the behaviors. And if you find like the behavior being wrong, basically fix that in the POC. So you always have like a good end state, even though it's gonna take longer to productionize that with, I don't know, or like error handling, metrics, actual correct data scheme, actual correct indexing of the schema, and all that stuff that it's significantly more involving than the POC.
But aren't some RPCs meant to be called not by the Rails app, but by the Rails reconciliation job, right? And I think that hasn't been implemented yet. Like the least outstanding laces, that's not being called by the Rails app. The rollback update also.
No, they were not like we didn't. I didn't see Genshin going beyond reconciliation. Sorry,
Okay.
I didn't see Genshin going beyond like a claiming, but there are like a three processes: claiming, reconciliation, and the verification. We so far like tried only the first one.
And should we test all those test scenarios before implementing, or do you think we can just start with the implementation now?
Do you know exactly how you want to implement other two?
Right.
Do you know exactly how you want to implement other two? Do you have like a very clear idea how they should look like?
No.
So I think you have the answer. Like
Yeah.
if you have like a very good idea how you want to do it, like you simply go do it. But if you don't have like a getting something in a working state that like you could like discuss, like I mean in my head it's faster to like to deal with. But there are conflicting opinions. I had like a lengthy discussion with Jensen about like the desire of using POC and like not using POC, and like I end up on mine POC interpretation because for me it's much simpler. I like to iterate. So my answer to that, if you have like a very good idea how this thing should operate and you understand it's all in and outs, you are fine to keep like working on the production quality and managing that. But if not, then the question is like how are you gonna find all of these behaviors and understand them, but do not rewrite that 5 times in a race with all of the tests and everything that you have to do there. So that's really like my primary question there. Why choose one path versus another?
There was this issue Jensen, that Boyan pinged me about implementing. I think it's in the action items. Or maybe I'll put it there. I guess I shouldn't be working on this for now, right? Because yeah, we're still working on the POC.
Which issue can you like read like a headline or?
Yeah, I put in the action items in the notes. Item, yeah, here.
Sorry, I was on mute saying I don't see anything on the doc.
Okay, let me get in the chat then.
So what is your question about this issue?
So should I wait for the POC to be finished before working on this? I guess so. I'll just put this on stall or block.
Okay, so okay, let me share my screen too. I can say what I'm understanding, and we can convene from there. But coming back to the design that we had for topology service, that commit road. Let me go to the happy path. Okay. So from my understanding, all of the things that topology service needs to do is already like with the begin update. If it receives a begin update query or commit anything, it's already present in the POC code that commit row. Now we have committed or we validated the claiming path with the thing from the GDK from the local service that mentioned it. The other parts that we need to do, like the update path or the reconciliation job, we can if you do, like for instance the background reconciliation loop that needs to run inside Rails on how it would be working, connecting to the topology service and all those things. If you have a good idea on how to implement them directly, it should. But from my understanding or from my perspective, we should just do it in an iterative manner. We should just start implementing them right now, since the topology side is already working, and see if it's working or not. Like it's a similar when you pick up an issue, first you come to an idea of how I would do this and then iterate on it to be in a production ready state. I don't think we need a POC anymore. Like POC in a way you don't have to showcase how it would work, but rather we can start doing it. The initial step of any issue is POC, right? Like you validate what you want to do.
I think the reconciliation loop is step 2. First step, like, because the reconciliation loop depends on begin update, commit update, rollback update being present and working in a working state, right? And we have that in the POC side. So maybe for us to, one, start getting some production code in, and 2, getting some work done, and 3, not focusing on just POCs. What if we just begin work on productionizing begin update, commit update, and rollback update? So basically the issue that you linked, single, on topology side, or on topology service, and then do that on the RAID side as well. And then after we're done with that, then we start working on the reconciliation loop. Because the reconciliation loop is there for the unhappy parts and things like that. First, we need to get the happy parts sorted, I think. At least that's my opinion. Because I think we have a clear, like we have a working POC. We just need to rewrite that so it's production ready. And the commit update, begin update, and rollback update is part of the POC we built.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Kamil?
I think so. I think like it really boils like to the question like how happy we are with a proto in a POC. We don't have to be happy with all aspects. We have to be happy with the aspects that we need now. So maybe just those 3 methods, we are probably maybe happy enough. But then like data structures like for like passing information. So the question is like how happy we are to not change that later. So I think it's less about like adding adapters to the actual databases that you outlined, but probably maybe working on like the final proto that underneath is using what it's using today, and like slowly then fixing that to the desired end state in terms of the data storage and all of the behavior. So I think having just the interface / proto for like minimal stuff, I think this probably like makes sense at the moment.
Yeah. And I think that's what the issue is trying to achieve, right? Have a single, like a simple proto file for the begin, commit up, and rollback update. We don't have to add the list and other RPCs to the proto file. So let's start with that, solidify that, and solidify the data store side of things, and then we'll take care of the reconciliation when we have something in production running.
There is one design that we didn't get to because we didn't work on the reconciliation and verification process yet.
Mm-hmm.
Just like completeness of the interface and like enumeration all of the claims. Today, like we only have like a very simple cells, I think, attributes that is very plain. It doesn't represent all of the intended data structure, and it's not enumerable by the reconciliation and verification because you need to be aware of all of the models that can claim data to actually be able to iterate them. So I think we maybe don't need to do verification, but doing reconciliation, I mean, okay, reconciliation is still like on the table side. It's not really that big deal. Doing a little of the verification, which kind of forces you to think about like, do we use YAML or something different to describe all of these attributes that can be claimed, that can be enumerated, like properly, like how we would do it.
How would that affect the begin commit rollback update? Would that affect it on the data layer side, or would that what do you think? How would that affect it?
There are like two parallel things.
Yeah.
Like whatever we do on the topology service, which is like aligning proto is one thing, but I think like having like a full idea of like the race part, it's also like how all of these attributes are described so we could access them in a structured way.
Okay.
To generate payloads for the verification. Bojan, do you get what I'm saying? You get some idea what I'm like where
Yeah,
I'm drumming, where I'm drumming?
yeah, I'm kind of following.
So I think my question is like, if you're gonna implement verification, how are you gonna know all of the things that you have to verify? How you describe them? How you attribute all models, all attributes, and things like that?
Sorry, when you say verification, who's doing the verification? Like, what do you mean by verification?
It's the third process described in a doc. There is like a claiming, reconciliation, and the verification.
So it's just right here. For each model class, it will list the claims and then process the claims and identify any discrepancies. So checking if the claims inside of topology service, like if it has 10 claims on users, then there should be 10 users in the Rails database. If there's 200 users, then clearly not everything is claimed. So this is where the verification comes into play. So I guess what Camilla's asking is, one, how do like what and where in our monolith will we say, for example, the routes table needs to be part of the verification process or not? As you mentioned, is that going to be a YAML file or something like that? And two, how are we going to list all the claims from topology service and so on and so forth. And I'm guessing that
there is like the API for that, so I'm more like concerned about the race side at the moment.
Okay.
But like, I'm not 100% confident in the TS API for that, honestly. It's really dependent on the performance characteristic on performing a large volume comparison between two disconnected databases. But we're gonna learn that, how to do it efficiently. But the proper way to attribute race models or like claims in arrays, this is, I think, what I'm looking at.
I think we need to start somewhere at this point. Because yes, there are all problems we're gonna have to solve, but at least we need to try and solve one problem at a time. So I at least, this might be just my ignorance, but I vote that we start working on the begin update, commit update, rollback update RPCs. Everything that we're gonna store in Spanner will be deleted anyways. It's not like we're gonna store stuff and then we're gonna have to do database migration, data migration, live data migrations or anything like that, because that's stuff that happens after this phase 5. So I think we can try and just test things, and if it doesn't work, we can always delete the database and restart from scratch if we mess it up so badly.
I know, but there is also not a single person working on that. There are multiple people. So we should be doing multiple things at the same time and sharing the knowledge. This is why I'm saying, like, do not focus on one thing. Like, we have actually many objectives.
Yes, okay, fair. That's fair. Yeah. So if we have many objectives, who's gonna do what? Is Sangu gonna work on the begin update, commit update, and rollback update, and Brian is gonna look at the Rails side of things? How are we gonna split the work?
So I already started on the taking over the POC and like continuing the where it's left over from Genshin. And like, yeah, I can also help Sangu to extract the update and the rest of the commits from the topology service POC. I also prepared the claim tape on Rails side because that's everything is like kind of ping pong. We have to do one by one, so completely iterations. So, and also to continue working on the POC, at least like to introduce the claim of on the routes or any other tables, we need to have these like update commits things.
Okay. So does this plan sound good? Sangu will work on those 3 RPCs, productionizing them in topology service. Tarun will, and let me know if I'm gonna put you on the spot, Tarun. It's gonna work on hooking up Spanner and topology service together, because that's something that we haven't done yet. And the reason I'm bringing that up is it would be nice for Sangu's merge request to be able to run the migrations to create the claims table inside of Spanner. So we like finish that part, like quote unquote finish the part, fully finish the topology service part. And while those 2 tracks are ongoing, Boyan is going to continue working on the Rails side of things. One, to create the claims table inside of Rails, and we'll continue working on the POC and the other things. Does that sound like a good plan for everyone?
I just wanted to ask because I'm on call this week and I'm going on a vacation next week. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not
I forgot.
100% sure I would be able to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm out next week and the following week.
Yes.
And
Steve,
Genshin is also out.
So can you repeat? Sorry.
Genshin is out, and I think someone else is also out for this week.
Yeah, so Aaron will be back on the 8th. When are you leaving Toronto? Like the specific date?
Next Wednesday. Next Tuesday will be my last day for a week.
Okay, so that would be September 9th. Okay.
Yeah.
So do we need to have Aaron to work with Sangwoo to hook up topology service with Spanner and
Yeah.
run those migrations?
So I'll actually take a look at it tomorrow to get you the full detail, but from what I remember, David already started a bit of work on it earlier. So it should
Yeah,
just
but
be
David is gonna be busy with the EM stuff.
yeah. Now what I was trying to say is if I did get some time this week, if the pager is not so busy, I might be able to do it this week. If not, I'll sync up with Aaron when he comes back and ask him to take over that
Yeah,
part.
even setting up Aaron for success, like giving him
Yeah.
clear directions, because that
Exactly.
might be a good welcome back issue. Like, here's what you need to do step by step, kind
Yeah.
of thing. So, because he's gonna be alone when he comes back from an SRE perspective, so it might be nice
Mhm.
to do this for him.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, let's go. I think that might be the best. Because I feel like for Sangwoo to finish everything and for Sangwoo to say, I'm 100% confident, or like I'm 80% confident with the RPCs, he needs to make sure that it's actually storing stuff in Spanner in production, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uh,
I'll let
it wouldn't
you.
become a blocker until Sangwoo's MRs are ready to be merged. Right. Okay.
If
We can merge.
If
Go ahead.
I would not look at the spanner. I would focus first on having iteration with just proto update on using what is here as a first step.
Yes, that would be one merge request, right?
Doing spanner stuff. There is like 10 different changes that you have to do.
Yes. I'm not talking about merge requests. I'm talking about bulk of work, like the bulk of work. Like, yes, a single merge request for RPC update, another merge request for Spanner. I agree with that. I'm talking a bulk of work, like for Sangwoo to say, oh, I'm done, is like I need the RPCs to be updated and for Spanner to work, like for the RPCs to store in Spanner. Is that fair to say? Like it's not a single merge request, it's multiple merge requests. What I'm saying. Does that make sense, Kevin?
I'm gonna see how it goes. So I'm
Okay.
gonna be commenting over there. But like focus changes, not a merge request
Yes.
that like 2000 lines.
No, yeah. Sorry, I was assuming that was obvious.
Because you can do like a shortcut to what you are saying.
I agree. Yes, the way I was thinking is a single merge request to delete what we have right now, and another merge request to add the new RPCs, because technically they should be separate as well.
No, I would try other way around. Like update existing RPCs to use what is existing, because a lot of stuff there is some like pre-work on the spanner already that like you could reuse.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
So this is how we could do it, and like we then slowly iterate on updating the rest.
Yes, okay, that's fair. Does that make sense to you, Sangwoo?
I'm a bit confused, sorry. Are we saying that we will be merging Begin update or the other RPC updates first, testing them around, checking that they are working, and then hook the spanner instance with the topology service?
The hooking Spanner instance with topology service is an infrastructure concern, so it's separate. Like the configuration of IAM, the config.toml update and things like that, that could be done separate from the RPC updates. Separate merge requests and separate people would be working on that,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. So you're saying like we should keep that ready, and when we are ready, we should start then running the migrations and updating the things in the database. Okay.
Yeah, they should be
Just to
separate
have that.
workflows.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
Do we have clear next steps when we want to run?
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear what. Yeah, so I'll start working on this right today.
Okay.
Okay, I guess I have
Anything
a
else?
next. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a next action item on agenda. So if there is anything else you want to discuss from the previous one, or should I continue?
No, I can continue. I think we're over time as well.
Yeah, sure. It's just like I put like here to see discussion on the group channel that Tom was proposing something, and like I also like put oversee what we have, like looking around what we can proceed. And Camille was even suggesting the just go with everything and consider that it's going to happen inside this transaction. So I think for now maybe it would not be a bad idea to just continue with the intention to have a claim inside the transaction, and then if we see that we are like shooting our foot, then we can like consider what can be done instead of it. Because current approaches, like any of those, is going to definitely introduce a lot of changes and much complexity.
I don't know. Inside of transaction is scary to me, purely because of all the issues we faced running network requests and transactions. I mean, do you see us doing that in production when we start claiming stuff in the legacy set?
Yeah, ideally not, but like there's the thing, like how much time do we have to go with this, and how much effort it's worthy. Because like what Tom also proposed, like the problem was like it can be with routes because they're being created when creating a user. So it's kind of going to be nested as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So to even to decouple everything is going to be like much more. It's doable, but that's the thing how much we want to go to implement all this. I guess we can pull it async if it's needed, and continue discussion like on the Slack, or even create an issue to go through it. I mean, there was an issue that when I was doing investigation on it.
Maybe we get database team blessing on it to make sure that they're okay with it and figure out what constraints we need to put on it so it doesn't mess with the database too much when running network requests on open transactions. And we'll start from there.
Okay.
I think we would be creating a discussion issue to loop in the database team and also put our thoughts in about the approaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Do we have like an issue on Epic that basically consolidates every issue or discussion that's happening in one place? Or is that unnecessary? I think that would be a bit more helpful to keep track of things.
Normally the discussion issue also lives in the parent epic. For instance, if for right now we are talking about how the claiming would work, so it would live under the 5.3. We have already
Okay.
had like other discussion issues as part of it. I've
Okay.
in the past used a discussion label in there to filter it out if needed to be. Okay. 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 Since we are over time, I just have one last question. Feel free to reply to it. I think how confident do we feel to deliver all of this claiming work at the end of this month?
Not very, especially with a bunch of people on PTO. So
Yeah.
mhm.
Not very
think
confident.
I think we'll have to delay once more, but I won't delay just now. Let's get some stuff running, and then will delay.
Yeah, and I'll be going on PTO like on October 1st for 2 weeks, and I'll be working from Korea from there. But like yeah, for 2 weeks I'll be PTO during the first 2 weeks of October. So yeah, I'll try to get as much done before then.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess the problem is that we're gonna having 2 less SREs for the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Now Vladimir
Like
would also be back on
the
15th.
the problem is that Davey, we cannot rely on him anymore. Basically, that's the thing. And each 2 weeks we are gonna having a change of each of SRE.
I'm sorry, I don't understand the problem because like Aaron should be back next week, and after that, Vladimir should be back. So we
And
should have enough
you're
coverage.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and while you're out, and we cannot rely on David, that's considered 2. Anyhow, I guess like we can put this async since we're out of time.
Okay.
All right. Have a nice day, everybody, then.